Three snaps and a clap or two for the Voices of Victory podcast show. And today's reaction video, yeah, it's going to be a fun one. Dr. Ramani Durvasula. She is a clinical psychologist, professor, and expert in narcissistic personality disorder and narcissistic abuse dynamics. Oh boy, I am going to let this out. I am going to absolutely let this out. We're going to just go ahead and play the clip. We're going to play the clip. This is the yes and format. I'm going to say, yes, I agree with her, and I'm adding clarity. So by no means is this going to be negative. I'm going to be supporting her. I support what she says. I support where she's going with things. I do believe there are parts of the conversation that are left not discussed. In other words, there's parts where they're not discussed. And as a result of it not being discussed, the general public grabs on and latches on to extremes and wrong ideas. All right. So we're going to go over that now. Let's just go ahead and play this clip right from here. This is where we're going to be talking a little bit about narcissism and rage and how it goes down that. And let's talk about it.
They can't name it. They have pushed it out of awareness. So instead of being able to step back and say, okay, I am overreacting because this is an old wound for me, or my need to be special is an offset to my fragile sense of self. So the criticism is hard for me. Listen, that is not going to happen. When the shame gets evoked for a narcissistic person, there's either overt rage or passive aggression or chaos or retribution. The insecurity means that the grandiose defenses, selfishness, the lack of regard about how other people experience this, and entitlement are drawn even higher and stronger. And the fragile ego means that the narcissistic person always has their fists out, thin-skinned and provocable, and almost gunning for a fight if somebody looks at them the wrong way. This also means that for the other person in the relationship, you are managing a person who holds on to delusional beliefs of their specialness. And this is what shows up as selfishness and little care or regard for you, and an overblown sense of their importance in the world and of their needs. They are so special.
Let's stop here. Let's go ahead and take a moment to really unpack Dr. Ramani. Let's unpack this a little bit. Let's take a different approach. Remember, my format of this show when I do reaction videos, it's the yes and. So we do, yes, I agree with you, and let me expand on something. Because it's going to be next to impossible for her to hit every key point about NPD. All right. And let's break it down. I want to go over what's missing from the narcissist underbelly. I want to tackle this head on. This is where I'm going to build on what was explained. Yes, NPD is there, but where's the nervous system in all this? All right, what she misses is that the video does indeed outline the emotional landscape, the anger, the frustration, but it doesn't ground narcissistic behavior in the biology of the nervous system. Trauma isn't just a story. Narrative psychology is valuable because it helps us deconstruct the identity and the stories that are connected to it. But trauma isn't just a story, it's also a psychological state. And here's what I want to add. What she's describing as like rage and retribution and that anger, that often begins as dysregulated stress response. That's what I want to bring to the table. And many narcissistic individuals, they do live in that fight or flight state. Now, their blow-ups and their childlike behavior, they're not always calculated. They're often triggered. Somatic hijack. Literally, the amygdala, the brain is just getting hijacked until the body feels safe again, where they can self-reflect. So self-reflection remains literally neurobiologically inaccessible. It becomes difficult for them. They're not used to feeling safe. So this is to be understood or reframed that narcissism is not only as a psychological defense, but also as a neurobiological feedback loop. And that's really what I want to explain. So it explains why this insight doesn't necessarily, it's valuable, but it doesn't necessarily lead to change. Of course, accountability and responsibility has to be taken by the person with NPD. They have to. Now let's shift over to confidence. Her video can really throw out the wrong idea because there's a lot of misinformation with NPD. And her video is valuable. I'm not going to debase it. There's quality here. There's information here. You can watch it at the end of my video. But the one topic that's not discussed with NPD is confidence, how confidence relates to NPD. Because people are mistaking the sharks for the guppies, the confident person for the narcissist. And that's become a big, major gray area. So they're getting confused because both can appear bold, both can appear assertive, both can appear self-assured. However, true confidence is rooted in self-awareness. It's rooted in humility. Humility, by the way, is something a narcissist can fear. Hello? And have that ability to uplift other people without needing control or maintaining control or the need for admiration. Narcissism, on the other hand, it masks and hides insecurity behind the grandiosity, behind the seeking of validation at all costs. Humility is a problem for them. So you know somebody who's a confident leader when they actually have empathy and humility. And that confident leaders inspire trust through being authentic and through service, serving the people that they're with. The narcissistic individuals, they manipulate through charm, through domination, through emotional intensity. They might even fake some avoidant behavior just to get what they want. It's all this emotional intensity swept up into the air, making just confusion and burnout and dependency in their wake behind them. So the confusion arises when charisma is mistaken for character. That's what I want to share. People are mistaking the sharks for the guppies. And while she doesn't address that, this is a confident and leadership channel, I'm going to address it, right? So this is not to speak, there's no deficit here. She doesn't have any deficit in what she's saying. She's not necessarily, I'm just simply adding a little bit more onto certain topics because it's really hard for any one person as knowledgeable as her to tackle every single solitary thing. There's no reason why there's multiple videos out there. So I want to thank her for bringing this information out there to the world because she's waking up people to the idea of really understanding what truly that is, what narcissism truly is. So please, if you meet a leader, don't automatically peg them for a narcissist. There's so many people that do that. They automatically meet a leader, and the first thing they say, "Oh, you must be a narcissist. You're a narcissist," and they finger point, all because they watched maybe 3 or 4 videos online, and suddenly they think they're the next world's expert, right? Everybody's a professional nowadays, right? But in actuality, it is that humility that the narcissists push away. It's that humility that makes a true leader. It's not fake humility. It's real. It's to have love and strength combined, not the overusage of strength. And it's not using love as a weapon of manipulation. It's true love and strength combined. And people have leadership aversion. They push away their own leadership, and they also push away other leaders because maybe they don't understand the sharks from the guppies. And that's all I'm going to say on this show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I want a special thanks to Dr. Ramani. She's incredible. She's amazing. And you'll see a link to her video at the end. Have a great day and see you on the next episode. And if you like this episode, just buy me a coffee. That's okay. Buy me a coffee. I like coffee. You can click on the link in the description. Have a great day and take care.